Thank you very much for giving me a minute to talk with you, Senator Rice.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
It's really one of the most important issues that I want to discuss with you in relationship to what's happening in Essex County. We're talking about the decentralization of UMD&J
Yes.
and the manner in which it's being done. Effectively enough, we've witnessed that in the past 2 years, that in order for negotiations to be fair with this current administration, it's been pretty vindictive. The relationship in terms of how now this qualifies the rejuvenation of change in regard to how the governor is identifying the need in regard to the problems with UMD&J. Effectively, do you think that it's something that is going to help change the dynamics of the way services are provided in healthcare for the urban community?
I don't think anyone has an answer to that question right now. The government is fast-tracking this merger, and there are many of us who have been involved with this process for a number of years, recognize that UMD&J, like Rutgers, need to make some changes in the times we're in, and they're working towards that. But the problems at UMD&J are no different than problems of other institutions of this type, including Rutgers University, which never surfaces, number one. Number two, there are too many questions addressing the cost-benefits analysis from a socio-economic perspective as well as a budgetary perspective that need to be answered. The governor is not doing an audit of Rutgers in terms of whether it can meet the needs if we move in that direction, its infrastructure, nor Robert Woods, nor any of the other institutions which need to be done. And so there are a series of questions that we send to the governor. There are bonds incorporated at the UMD&J. We don't know what it means in terms of who's going to pay those bonds back, whether or not they're going to lose their accreditation as a healthcare institution. There's no talk about if, in fact, there's an impact on healthcare services, what happens to community-based healthcare organizations, medical transportations, and all the ancillary activities. And so this is not about healthcare. It is clear to some of us this is no different than the attack on education. This is about the privatization of healthcare, which is part of the privatization movement. You're going to see the same thing happening in corrections under the auspices of helping. You're going to see the same thing happening with public housing under the auspices that public housing is not working. We have a better way of doing it. It's about the hedge fund people, the big money people, the Koch brothers, and privatization. And that's fine if that's the governor's agenda along with some others. My concern is what those of us who are Democrats aren't doing and others in the communities are not doing to stop this nightmare that's taking place. That concerns me more than anything else. And so I don't see where it's going, but we do have a coalition looking at it. We can't determine, nor can the governor, whether it's going to be beneficial long-term to the healthcare arena in New Jersey or not until a series of questions are actually answered.
The vetting process for the education commissioner was kind of sidetracked in terms of individuals saying that your personal account of how you felt the relationship of vetting him wasn't being done appropriately, and you took advantage of the process. Yet and still, it's been circumvented because now, because of senatorial courtesy, the individual, Mr. Cerf, has now moved out of the district, obviously to guarantee that he will be approved without any kind of relationship of representation. Can you share with us exactly where the whole dynamics of it was, especially with the governor deciding to not appoint judges based upon your opportunity to take advantage of having a voice on the vetting process?
Well, the governor, to be quite frankly, I tried to fight the governor in the media, but the governor would go to town hall meetings and continue to bring up my name and attack me and say that the Commissioner of Education, that I was holding the commissioner up. He's correct. I was using courtesy because there are too many unanswered questions contrary to what the governor is saying about relationships, not just here with the business sect and the hedge fund people in New Jersey. There's been question about his integrity in New York with businesses. He's been involved with international businesses. We don't know what all that means with this movement towards privatization. And so I'm beyond that. The judges had nothing to do with the commissioners. The only reason Essex County does not have judges even to this day is not because Senator Cody, Senator Gill, Senator Rice, Senator O'Toole, and Senator Reeves didn't agree to judges. We met with the governor people. 6 names were presented that we said we would support over a year ago. The governor never sent us the paperwork to sign off on. Once he sent the paperwork, if he faxes it tonight, we sign it, then he can move the judges. So he's holding the judges up, not me, not even the SURF situation. We received the paperwork for Paula Dow, who was not one of the 6. When I received that the last session, I signed that right away, but we never got the other. So the governor needs to stop lying to the people, because he's getting me upset and angry, and I would tell him to his face if I see him, stop lying. You want to debate me in the public, we can debate. Come to Newark, we can debate. But if you're going to allow me, I'm going to start fighting you back. I've been very nice about this, but I'm grown too. As it relates to SURF movement, I don't care if he moves. My position was very clear. I'm not going to let the governor push me around, and I represent taxpayers who are going to be impacted by this man's decision. They're being impacted now negatively, okay? And I believe it's because of privatization and people who are receiving contracts. And so by him moving to Somerset, that doesn't bother me, because nothing has changed. When I said nothing has changed, going to Somerset didn't make any sense to me, primarily because he doesn't gain anything. He has the same authority and the same paycheck when his title is acting. So to move to Somerset and to have another senator sign off on you just to make your title commissioner rather than acting, that's fine, if that's your ego, but it didn't take anything from you and you didn't get anything by it. And so I think even the whole move is probably him renting some little storefront or someplace for a few moments and probably come back. I don't know, but I really don't care. With me, it's over with. The question now is, what's the governor's excuse for not sending the 6 people? If you're going to blame Ron Rice, which you were totally wrong, because of SURF, but SURF is now gone. So why do we not have judges? Why are our courts getting backed up? And so if Democrats want to play, because I know what Republicans are going to do, but I'll be quite frank about this. If Democrats in either side of the legislature want to play with the governor and have those kinds of games played and feel intimidated by him and like to be pushed around by him, excuse me, on major serious issues and pass stuff that they know going to hurt us, fine, I can't control that. But I'm not one for being pushed around, and I don't like it. And I'll work with this governor, and when he's wrong, I'll let him know. I'm sure when I'm wrong, he'll let me know. But this one, he outright lied about who was stopping judges.
Okay.